Hi, this is Skip, and welcome back to the Crossroad Diecast Speed Shop. We are waiting outside today for our next project. I think it's coming down the road now. And here it is. It's a 32 Ford Coupe that we're going to be using for our 4-horseman rat rod build. So I'm going to get the guys out here, put the car into the shop, and get it taken apart, and we'll take a look and see what we've got. Let's move on. All right, well, we are working on our 4-horseman rat rod build. This is my 32 Ford. Get it all taken apart. Again, we're going to change out these wheels, do some stuff with that base. We'll get that painted up, maybe detail up a little bit of it. Don't want to detail up too much because it's an old, dirty old rat rod, so it's going to be like that. And again, we'll probably be stripping that interior out. Again, the later model 32s, I think I did a wheel swap on one here a few months back, and did a little bit of detailing on one, but it was an older one. The more recent ones and stuff have been reworked, and they have this blower top on the it's worked right into the body, and so it makes the post for the thing to seal down. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. This one looks like it has a racing livery on it. We're going to strip it all down. We're going to make it an old rat rod type of a car. And so, again, just kind of look at it. Again, we're going to strip it all down, so there's not going to be anything we have to worry too much about the body. The body's a newer casting. And so let's move on. All right, well, we're moving right along on our rat rod build. Some of the things I've already done, I've shined up the base a little, or the body a little bit. You see what I did to the base? I got some of these 5-spoke white walls from Samad wheels I put in there. I'm not going to glue them in yet because I want to repaint. I'm going to paint that base. But anyways, what I'm going to try to do, some of the things I did is I cut off the old motor, this part here. I cut that off. I'll save that for some other build maybe. And so my thought was I was going to do this. Again, I'll be taking in on that, and then I have this front end out of a Chevy Bel Air gasser, 55. And because sometimes when you see old rat rods, you see them, they have a different front end, a different radiator setup or something. And so my plan is to put that right on there like that. Then I have some of these exhaust stacks, and I'll put those in. I'll set those up in there and set that on there. So I think that'll be pretty good. Like I say, I can't really do anything on when it comes to putting it all together and stuff until I get that base paint. I want to paint that base up first because white definitely doesn't look like something the rat rod would be. And I got a little bit more stuff I want to do to the body, I think, too. So let's move on. All right, well, we're still working on our rat rod build, and so now, like I said, I want to take and strip this interior. It's got a chrome interior that came with that 32 Ford, but I'm going to take this and dip it into some super clean. Just basically take that. I usually put a little piece of wire on. It's just easier getting it out when it comes time to get these pieces out. It's easier if we just put it in there. Just screw it back up. Let it sit, and it'll let it sit there, and it'll strip and do its stuff. And when we come back, we'll have a clean interior and get ready to paint. Okay, I'm moving right along with my 4-horseman rat rod build. One of the things a lot of times you see in a rat rod is these big shifters, crazy shifters and stuff. So I took a push pin, and I got a little bit more stuff I'm going to do with it, but I just got that in there, pushed that into the bottom, I snipped out there's like a little nub there that was supposed to be the shifter, and I put that in there. And you can see where I've also put in a 3D printed steering wheel, and I'll be doing some little bit painting and touching up on that as well. But I just wanted to show you this, and also cut out the top of this. Because I wanted you to be able to look down inside there and see the rat rod. Because, when you go to car shows, if you see a rat rod there, people are looking inside it and stuff. And so I wanted to be able to see inside. So we'll move on. All right, well, we're back working on a rat rod build. I thought I'd bring you a little bit of an update of some of the things that I've done. I take some ferrules and put on the top, the blower for the motor. And then also I put some side pipes on for the glued those onto the base for the exhaust. The thing I'm really kind of happy about is I made some Indian blanket decals. I saw a few old rat rods online with some Indian blanket decals, or not decals, but Indian blankets, I should say, on their seats and stuff. So I really liked that idea. So I took some, and so then I took it and I put that in there, decaled it in there. I actually like the brown better than the white because it kind of gives it more of a dirty-ish type of, again, more rat rodish. I took a push pin, painted it black for the shifter thing, and touched up the steering wheel a little bit with the black. And so because you get that big shifter coming out from the interior, and that should look pretty cool. That's why the reasons why I cut the hole in the top, because I want you to be able to see it, because no sense putting in that Indian blanket and that big shifter and stuff in there if you can't even look in and see it. So we're going to move on, but I think that gives you a little bit of an update so far on what we made it out. All right, well, we're back in the shop, and we got the pieces ready to do our 4 horseman rat rod build. And so just thought I'd give you a little update before we assemble it. Some of the things that have gone on. Again, we've taken and made an Indian blanket decal that I put on the seats, because I saw a lot of that. Put in a 3D printed steering wheel. Made an 8-ball gear shifter for the interior. Put on some of these nice black Samed wheels. I think they're 5 spokes, if I'm not mistaken, with white walls. And put on some side pipes for this. And then, of course, we detailed up well, you can see a little bit of the rat. It's a little bit hard because some of the colors are blending together a little bit. But the different kinds of rust, the orange rust, the yellow rust stuff. And also cut a hole in the roof so that we can see inside and see what's going on. So yes, we're going to take a few minutes. We'll put this thing together, and we'll be back, and we'll take a look at what we got.
Later.
And here is my entry into the 4 horseman rat rod build for the month of February. This is a 32 Ford Coupe that I cut off the front end, and I painted it with some different Vallejo rust effect paints and stuff. You can see some of the oranges and the browns and the yellows in there, a little bit subtle maybe. And then I put a coat of matte clear over the body. I took the engine in the front radiator and grill, came out of a 55 Chevy gasser. I added some ferrules on top as velocity stacks on top of the twin carburetors, and added those side pipes. The wheels are 5-spoke Samed wheels with white wall tires from Samed Wheels. Again, I painted the chassis. I stripped it off the old chrome off of it and painted it with black. Also, if you look real close, I opened up the top. If you look real close, you can see the big shifter, and you can see that I got an 8-ball type of shifting knob. And if you look a little bit more close as it comes around here, you can see the seats. And what the seats are, I did an Indian blanket decal. I made these decals, and I put that onto the seat. Because sometimes when you see those old rat rods and stuff, they have some type of blanket over the seat or something because the seats are ripped or whatever. So I thought that would be kind of interesting to put that in. And again, so there's some real neat things about rat rods that I found out. I did a wiki search first, and it says a rat rod is usually known today as a custom car with a deliberately worn down, unfinished appearance, typically lacking paint, showing rust, and made from cheap or cast off parts. These parts can include non-automotive parts that can be repurposed, such as a rifle used as a gear shifter, wrenches as door handles, hand saws as sun visors, etc. So whether or not so appointed, the rat rod uniquely conveys its builder's imagination. The term also has been applied to the style of hot rod or custom car that broadly imitates or exaggerates the early hot rods of the mid-20th century, unlike the traditional hot rod, which is one built at that time or a close recreation of such. And according to J.D. Powers, they say that a rat rod is any hot rod that's been unfinished or has a rather shabby or incomplete look. The rat rods are vehicles made on the concept of the classic hot rods, but in a more cost-efficient and creative way. The rat rod is built for the road, but there are no standards for a rat rod, and it might not even use the items and car parts from the same era. The only rule at the rat rod is that there's no rule to conjuring up your own design. So kind of summarize it all up. A rat rod is a subclass of hot rod. The term rat rod came to be used for cars when the editor of Hot Rod magazine looked at a specific hot rod model which reminded him of rat bikes. The rat rods are a more rugged version of the hot rod, and hot rods are a more robust version of the street rod. Rat rods allow room for creativity, and if you don't care much about shiny cars and are into rallies, or or racing, getting one might be a solid, adventurous option. That's what this is about. A little bit of information on that. And again, on behalf of Paul at Diecast Graveyard, Andrew at Maple Leaf Customs, Tom at Sports Syndicate, myself, Skip here at Crossroad Diecast Speed Shop, and along with I want to thank our guest horseman, BJ's Custom, this month. We want to invite you to take part in these builds as well. You can get yourself a diecast car, find out the theme for the upcoming month. Next month we actually have two. We have a St. Patrick's Day theme coming up, and then we also have, at the end of the month, we have a Scout theme. So it can be Boy Scout, Girl Scout type theme, you know, whatever you are, whatever casting or whatever, use your own creativity. And all you have to do is, you don't even have to have a social media presence. All you have to do is on the last day of the month, send a 16 by 9 photograph of your build on a white background and send it to 4horsemandiecast@gmail.com. And we'll include you in our monthly recap videos. And we just like to see what you got out there. Like I said, you don't need a social media presence or anything like that. And for those that participate more often in our builds, we award bronze horseshoes for 6 builds, and silver horseshoes for 12 builds, and gold horseshoes for 24 builds and stuff. So just get out there and take part and look at, follow up, and at least what everybody else is doing as well. I'm looking forward to seeing that, to see what everybody else comes up with. I thank all my viewers and subscribers, and as always, God bless, and thanks for stopping by the shop.